The restaurant was the kind of place where the chandeliers sparkled like diamonds and every chair looked more expensive than most people's rent. Waiters in crisp white jackets moved silently between tables, pouring wine and whispering polite, "Enjoy your meal" to the city's most powerful guests. At the center of the room sat Richard Lawson, a billionaire known for buying companies the way most people bought groceries. Tonight was supposed to be a celebration. A massive merger deal had just been signed, and the executives around him were laughing, clinking glasses, and talking about the future. Outside, through the glass doors, a skinny boy stood on the sidewalk. His hoodie was faded, his sneakers worn thin, and his eyes were fixed on the dining room. He wasn't staring at the food. He was staring at the table where the billionaire sat. The boy's name was Marcus. He had been lingering near the restaurant for nearly an hour, pretending to tie his shoes or look through the trash can, but his eyes kept returning to one particular waiter. That waiter had stepped outside earlier, thinking no one was watching. But Marcus had been there. He saw the small vial come out of the man's pocket. He saw him pour something into a wine glass before heading back inside. Marcus didn't know what the liquid was, but he knew one thing for sure. People didn't secretly pour things into drinks in dark corners unless something was very wrong. Inside, laughter filled the air. Richard picked up his wine glass, smiling at the executives around him. "To new beginnings," he said, raising the glass. The boy's heart pounded. He looked at the doorman. He looked at the glass walls. No one inside seemed to notice him. Then he saw the waiter again, standing near the table, watching the billionaire a little too closely. Marcus didn't think anymore. He pushed past the doorman and ran inside. "Hey! You can't be in here!" the doorman shouted, but Marcus was already sprinting across the carpet. "Stop! It's poison!" he yelled at the top of his lungs. The entire restaurant went silent. Forks froze in midair, heads turned. Before Marcus could reach the table, a security guard grabbed him from behind, locking his arms. "Get this kid out of here," one of the executives snapped. Marcus struggled. "I'm telling the truth. That drink is poisoned. I saw him." He pointed toward the waiter. Richard slowly lowered the glass, his expression changing. "What did you say, son?" The executives laughed nervously. "Sir, it's just a street kid trying to cause trouble." But Richard didn't drink. He stared at the boy. "Let him talk." Security loosened their grip slightly. Marcus took a breath. "I was outside. I saw that waiter pour something from a little bottle into your glass. He thought no one was looking. But I saw him." All eyes turned to the waiter. His face went pale. "That's ridiculous," the man stammered. "He's lying." Richard signaled to the head of security. "Check the glass." A manager rushed over, whispering into his earpiece. Within minutes, another staff member arrived with a small testing kit from the kitchen. The room held its breath as the liquid was tested. The result appeared in seconds. The manager's hands started to shake. "Sir, there's a toxic substance in the wine." Gasps spread across the room. Security immediately grabbed the waiter, who began shouting, "You don't understand. They made me do it." Richard stared at the glass, then at Marcus. "You just saved my life." Marcus looked down. "I just didn't want something bad to happen." Richard stood up, walking over to the boy. The room watched in stunned silence. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Marcus." "Where are your parents, Marcus?" The boy hesitated. "It's just me. Been that way for a while." Richard nodded slowly, then looked at the security guard. "Take him to the kitchen. Get him a proper meal. Whatever he wants." Marcus's eyes widened. "Really?" Richard smiled. "You've earned it." As the boy was led away, the executives sat in stunned silence. One of them whispered, "You were seconds from drinking that." Richard looked at the glass again. "Yeah, and if it wasn't for that kid, I wouldn't be here tomorrow." He paused, then added quietly, "Funny how the person who saved me had nothing, while we were all sitting here with everything." Across the restaurant, Marcus sat at a small table in the kitchen, staring at a hot plate of food placed in front of him. For the first time in days, he smiled. And in the dining room, a billionaire realized that sometimes the most important voice in the room is the one no one expected to hear.